Octodec Investments is next. Founded by the Wapnick family, and it owns a range of high-profile shopping malls. I'm not sure if high-profile is the right term.
Yeah.
You know, places like the Killarney Mall in Johannesburg. I don't know, maybe I'm just talking about that one because it's close to where I live. Market capitalization, 6.1 billion rand. Historic yield in the same sort of range, 8.9%. Established player. There was something about, I think a couple of years ago, they combined another entity of theirs called Premium Properties into the same entity or listing.
That's right. I think we've spoken about it twice today already. Bulking is very, very important in the sector. So the more assets under management you can get, the better it is for the wider portfolio.
Yeah.
But I think what makes Octodec really interesting is that it's urban focused and it's residential focused.
Residential as well, okay.
That's right. So residential makes up about 30% of the overall
What kind of buildings and where?
So these are all apartment buildings, so high density buildings. They own about 8,900 apartments.
And this is in urban areas, so principally Joburg, Pretoria?
Principally Pretoria CBD, as well as your Joburg CBD. So very focused.
So are these properties in the residential space which they moved in and acquired, say, in the last 15 years and did some urban conversions, like of commercial buildings into residential or not? More residential from the beginning?
No, so a lot of office blocks that they also currently hold, that they look at redeveloping. Some of them purely for residential, some of them for mixed-use development.
Okay.
This is more geared towards your lower and middle-income households. So a lot of
demand there.
Huge demand, a lot of student accommodation.
Yeah.
So students make up about 30% of their entire residential unit, with the rest being your typical government employees, specifically in the Pretoria CBD. So a bachelor pad with rental of about 3,400, one bedroom rental about 4,500. So really in that type of category.
And then, as you say, it's mixed use. So down at the bottom, you'll have certain restaurants and maybe stores, and then as you go higher up in the building, you've got the residential units.
Yeah. So they've got two flagship malls, Killarney and also the Woodmead Valley Mart.
Correct. That's what I saw.
And then the rest of the retail.
I'm not sure if the Woodmead Valley Mart qualifies as a flagship property, but anyway,
let's call them the shopping malls.
That's a nice place to go on a Sunday, I suppose.
And then the rest of the retail exposure is your high street retail.
Yeah. And the Wapnick family involvement, the founder, I forget what his name was, but the next generation, Sharon Wapnick and Jeffrey Wapnick, are, you know, sort of significant holders of the equity in the management team in one way or another.
That's right. So Sharon's CEO, and Jeff is managing director.
That's the kind of involvement you'd expect to see. Okay, share chart looks okay, like the others. I guess there's a slightly more pronounced upward trend there. Hot or not?
I'm going to go hot on this one, Paul. I like it. It's a very attractive dividend yield, and I like this development pipeline. I think that there is quite substantial need and demand for residential properties. So I'm going to back them and go hot on this one.
Okay, good. I'll join you. You know more about it than I do. Okay.